I am so excited for Gather Round's new Thanksgiving unit study. I want to show you inside the teacher's guide, the student workbooks, explain what values I think that this is going to promote and be good for my family and yours. And then I also want to show you how we're tweaking some things, how we're going to work it out to make it fit into our family learning structure. So stick around, let's get started. This is the teacher's guide, and as you can see, it is not very thick. There are actually only 4 lessons that are planned for this unit, and they are titled The Bigger Picture, Canadian Thanksgiving, US Thanksgiving, and what it's all about. Now, just because there are 4 lessons listed here does not mean that you can't make more out of it. And that's actually what our family is going to do. As we flip to the first one here, you can see where I have done D1, that's for day 1. And that's just the first topic called The Bigger Picture. But then within this lesson, she's also talking about Thanksgiving in other countries. Did you know that there's Thanksgiving in other countries? Public school never taught me that. And they look different, they're harvest celebrations, but they're giving thanks to a deity, to the harvest, to something. So there are other cultures that also celebrate Thanksgiving. And I want my children to understand that that's a thing, that we aren't the only ones, that Pilgrims and Native Americans weren't the only ones celebrating Thanksgiving. And actually then on a later page of what we plan on doing for day 3 is the Thanksgiving controversy. And this brings up tons of topics and conversations to have with your children about what do you think about how this all ended up and how it started versus what it is now. I actually took this along with us in a recent car ride and was reading it to my husband. And when I was done with day 1 with the lesson, my husband was like, overload. That was way too much. So I did decide to divide it up. And overall, I came up with 13 days worth that we are going to be covering from this unit. Since I've been on YouTube, a lot of the people that are watching my videos come from Canada. And I think that that is so cool. But I'm also kind of ashamed to say that my school never taught me about Canadian history or Canadian Thanksgiving. So in Canada, were you taught about America's Thanksgiving and how we celebrate on a different day, the different ways or history that we attribute it to? I didn't know that. I wasn't taught that in school. For my fellow Americans, you went to a different school than I did. Did your school teach you about Thanksgiving in Canada? Tell me in the comments. You might know that I have a second channel dedicated to teaching our kids about the world. And so this just excited me so much. There's quick facts, there's all kinds of things. And then there's this section too about learning about foods, the history of foods, the science of these foods. There's so much information here. And so we're getting a lot in that as well. I think that that's gonna really pique my kids' interest. There's a whole bunch of recipes in here for them that they might want to learn about, to try out, to incorporate into our Thanksgiving traditions. This is going to be so much fun. And because Gather Round is a Christian curriculum, there are tons of scripture, things that bring your mind back to God and talking about His intended plan for us as Christians. So I love that. And actually, that's what we're going to do for our first day for the student workbooks. Although it was made to be done second, we're actually going to do it along with day 1. And that is writing one of these verses that have been provided for us. You could do it on a rock. I also thought maybe getting a little stump from Hobby Lobby and writing it on there, or just sticky notes, or writing it on a window with a dry erase marker, something like that. Just putting these verses up around our house for the month of November would be really good. And then on day 2, when we are learning about different countries and their ways of celebrating Harvest Festival, here there's mapping it out. There's coloring a turkey. There's learning how to spell a word. And you can print these off for the different levels in your house. And I have done that. I have early elementary, early readers, pre-readers. And so I like to put them all in order. right in here of how we are going to go about these. And then on day 3, we'll continue on with the next thing that is suggested to do. Day 4 is a prayer and talking about what is meant by that. Day 5 here, again, we're mapping England and Canada. We're drawing something that might be on the plate in a Canadian Thanksgiving, interesting facts. We're doing our copy work. So my oldest son, who's in early elementary, will be doing copy work right of this verse, putting it right there. The next kids that are early readers, they're going to be tracing the verse. And then my youngest son is only tracing a few select words from the verse. So it is right for their age levels, and I love the flexibility in that. But I have found that by clumping all of their worksheets together like this, I only have to pull them out while we're doing them so that we stay on task together. I have them all in this binder and I just pull out what we are doing. And then, yeah, like I was saying, you don't have to do it exactly how it is laid out. And that's something I love about Gather Round. And Rebecca Spooner's even talked about how she switches things up for her own family. Make it work for you. Okay, here's an example about learning about different foods, right? So cranberries, wild cranberries, commercial farms. What are the nutritional benefits of cranberries? And so you're gonna learn about that here. We live right next to Wisconsin, which is a huge producer of cranberries. And so I would actually love to take my kids someday to a cranberry bog and do a field trip like that. And so maybe I can plan that around a Thanksgiving in the future because I have the digital download and I can print it off every year if we wanted to go through it, or every other year, whatever fits our family. I'm getting this video out early enough that you can get it and print it off and have it all set up yourself, or that you can order the pre-printed version and have it sent to you in time. You might also want to consider sharing this video with a friend, because even friends that don't homeschool could benefit from this curriculum in their family. It's only set up for 4 days, so they could totally do it over the weekends leading up to Thanksgiving. So go ahead and like this video, share it with a friend. Thank you so much. There are picture studies provided here, as well as in the teacher's guide that you're going to look at and talk about and maybe read a poem of as well. So there are also extensions to this guide. You can get the MP3 to listen to rather than mom having to read it. You can get these thank you cards for your kids to be writing on and sending out to people. There are placemat cards for names and writing what you are thankful for inside of that. There are recipes, there are all these ideas, things to hang on a tree that you're thankful for. So many good ideas. Also, like the other curriculums, there is the recitation. This is what you're going to be memorizing as a family while you go through the unit. In the front of the teacher's guide, you can also find these, which just have a spot for you to track any movies you might want to watch, books you might want to read, things to do. I love the way that this looks. It's so pretty, and she's provided it so well here. So you can just print these off and use them however it works best for you. Maybe that's on the fridge, maybe it is in your planner, but that is up to you. It doesn't have to stick in your teacher's guide. On the last day, it also promotes hosting people. And that is a value that my family holds very close. We believe that the Bible tells us to host people when you host. And so we want to teach our children how to do that, how to host well and to make people feel welcome in your house. And so I love that that part is also included. It's important to me that my children learn about other cultures because I think that that develops respect, and that's something that our culture is deeply missing. I want them to love other people well and to host and to give. I want them to learn how to learn, to love learning, and to question the things that they are told. This curriculum does that really well, I think. It promotes those ideas in our families, and I'm very excited to do it with my kids this year. We also enjoy reading these picture books that I will link here, so go check out that video next, and I will see you next time.